What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Pass the Barb. You are currently listening to the #1 outdoor podcast in the freaking world. I'm Ryan Pincala, and we got the full house tonight. All the boys are here. We got an excellent guest. We got a lot to talk about tonight. But yes, it is. We're recording this one on time. Something new for us. We're trying it out. See what it's all about here. But today is actually February 10th. We're recording this right now. And we're going to get into this one. I know the boys got a lot going on. We got Sobi in the field coming to us on assignment tonight. Brother, where are you?
In the field. Just like Ryan said, full crew tonight of the boys and an amazing guest. And we cannot thank you enough. Thank you. If this is your first time listening or a long time listener, please subscribe not only to our YouTube channel, but across platforms, whether that be Apple Play or Spotify or anything like that. We really appreciate it. Thank you for making us the #1 outdoors podcast on planet Earth. And like Ryan said, I am coming to you from the field. I am truck fishing tonight. I'm currently in the middle of a frozen lake. I've got 2 tip-ups out. They have 2 giant fat shiners on. In Minnesota, we are allowed to fish for walleyes for like 12-ish more days. So I'm just soaking in every last second. And maybe I could show you a little bit of the truck sweets here. You know, as I sit here in the truck, I've got
a little clam. You're running in your truck?
I got my windows cracked, but yeah, I got the little clam one-man heater in the crate.
You're aware your heater has heat, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I can feel it.
So, like, why? I'm missing. Am I missing something, Pink?
Yeah, it's fucked up. That's kind of what I'm saying here.
It's actually, I wouldn't recommend it.
Sunflower heater in the front seat, incredible.
Is this like some like just like? I mean, did Clam call you and like, yo, we need more heater, pub? And you're just like,
no,
okay,
no, it would probably not be. It's probably a promotion that they would not like to show, but it is. I mean, even if you're in your vehicle and if you're fishing shallow water, if you just let your vehicle run, that is creating way too much noise. I am in 6 feet of water, in the weeds, going for these big weedy walleyes. And I'm like, no, I'm leaving the truck off, but obviously it's not like warm in here. So I'm like, I'm rigging up the heater, dude. I'm rigging up the heater right here. I'm gonna crack a window, and I just, yeah, it feels awesome in here.
Buddy needs some heated seats, dude.
I do. I need to figure out how to I should probably rig up some sort of like a diesel heater in here, because that'd be cool to be able to just like chill inside the truck.
You're in a truck.
Yeah, but I don't want to run it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want. It's too noisy.
Such a first world problem that
I just feel like there's a better why
don't you just drive to 20 feet? You can still see those watchtower tip ups.
That's actually true.
Anyways.
What's the maximum distance way you can be from tip ups? I could back up really far.
200 feet.
200 feet.
Maybe I'm like 80 feet for my closest one.
So you could probably get to 20 feet, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I could get to 200 feet away. But no, dude, I like the smell of propane. Are you kidding me? I don't want this truck just sitting idle, baby. This is a new GMC. So I'll burn gas.
You got to get the heated seats, brother. Come on.
Oh, this is nice. I'm cozy in here. I could sleep in here like this, to be honest. That probably wouldn't be safe.
That's called dying.
No, yeah. Dude, I would not recommend that. Don't do that, kids.
Well, have you ever seen people truck camp in the back of their truck? They bring a propane heater back there.
Yeah, but it's
like in their truck. Does it
know.
feel different because there's fabric in here?
Also, there's normally vented windows.
No, is there vented windows in your topper, Pink?
I'll text Mav. Yeah, I got screens in there, dude.
Oh, nice.
I'll be like, I'll text him right now. We'll see if he gets us back. I'll be like, propane heater in the cab? ?
I do have my windows cracked, by the way. But yeah, so Bart, what's new with you? You are back. You were gone last week. I don't know if we disclosed where you were at, but yeah, maybe you want to tell them.
Oh yeah, I'm back. I got back from. We were on a trip. Got back and I stayed an extra Well, Pink, did you leave Tuesday? Yeah, you left Tuesday. So I stayed an extra night to tidy everything up and everything. And then I was planning on going fishing the next day no matter what. Waldo kind of bailed. So I was like, I'm still going fishing. So then I went fishing on the way home. And at about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I was starting to feel a little bad. But normally by the end of our like 5 or 6 day trips, man, you're just so beat up from fishing for multiple days that like your body's just kind of like, dude, be done. Go take a break for a couple days.
Define bad. What is bad?
Like what I was feeling, or like when I was getting off.
Feeling bad.
Well, I was just feeling kind of run down, and I was just sneezing a little bit and like congested and stuff, and I was just starting to feel like tired and weak. And I was like, dude, we just need to get in the truck and drive home. Like, we've been fishing a ton. I got another video filmed. Let's just go home. So drove the snowmobiles all the way back to the truck because we like snowmobiled pretty far into this lake to go check out, which was super cool. It was like got to go snowmobiling and everything, which was fun. And then started driving home, and basically every hour I drove, I just kept getting worse and worse. I like had Tylenol and everything, and I got home at like 8, and that's when you guys were recording. And I was like, there's just not a chance. And I literally went up to my bed and laid down, and then like tossed and turned for probably I kind of fell asleep for like 4 or 5 hours, but then basically for the next 48 hours, it was the most rigorous, awful experience of the flu I have had since it had to have been grade school. It was terrible, awful, high fever, just nothing would stay down. I lost like 11 pounds in 2 days. It was crazy. It was so bad. So then so that was Wednesday night I got home. Yeah, so then by Friday night, heading into Saturday, I was starting to get a little bit better. And then what did I have going on Saturday? I feel like I did something Saturday.
Were you puking?
Yeah. Oh, wedding. We were at Connor's wedding. So then, yeah, exactly. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to be good to go to the wedding. So I was starting to feel a little bit better, went to the wedding. Just basically had the wedding weekend. Been working ever since, but shout out Boots. Latest episode of the Crappie Chronicles would not have come out without Boots, because I gave him the hard drive basically on Wednesday, and I was like, if this is what I think it is, there is no chance I get this video done in the next 5 days without assistance. So shout out Boots. He grabbed everything and clocked in his video editor as I died. I laid in a bed for 95% of 2 days for the first time in a very long time. Not because of my decisions. Like, I wanted to. I did not want to be there. It was terrible.
Dang. Well, you're feeling better now? Would you say you're like 100%?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm all good now. We're all good. Fully cooking.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yes, sir. So, yeah, no, whatever's going around right now, I've heard of a couple other people getting it. It fucking sucks. It is legit awful.
Damn.
Yeah. And besides a shout out to Boots, probably a shout out to our good buddy Connor Graham. All three of us were in attendance at that wedding this past weekend. It was a good time. It was a good wedding.
It was.
We were cutting a rug. We saw a bunch of fishing folks there, and it was a good time, dude. It was a really good time.
Yeah, I had a blast there. It was awesome. I'm glad Bart was able to rally to show up. Although I do want to point out that you were late to the wedding ceremony. And that
I
made
wasn't.
me extremely happy. Well, they didn't let you in.
I literally I got there at the invitation said 4 o'clock. That is when the wedding ceremony starts. I walked in the doors of the church at 3:56, 4 minutes early.
I will say that I think they did have.
And they literally the lady looked at me and said they started the procession, and I looked at my phone and I was like, it's 56. And she's like, yeah, we started. And I'm like, what? So then they had me and like 15 others who got there before 4, but they wouldn't let in while the procession was going. Stand to the side. Then they let us in. I was like, this is whoever starts a wedding early. Normally they start them like 5 or 10 minutes late.
Bart is arguing with the wedding planner outside of a church.
No, I wasn't. I was just like, did I read it wrong? Because the invite said 4. Like I got there, right when I was supposed to.
I should have showed up to your wedding 4 minutes before it started.
You were in it.
So?
Very.
I wasn't the first person to walk up there.
Very big difference. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I was when most people get to weddings, 5 to 10 minutes before everything starts, 5 to 15.
Just seemed like there were a lot of people inside the church to me when I was there, but
there was also a lot of people that came in after the procession because they started early.
Bart's not letting this one down. I was not that late.
They started early. If I was late, I would have said I was late. It was my bad. I wasn't late. Because I'm also a person who's like late to stuff fairly often. I was not late. I was actually on time. So I was a little pissed off by that.
Everyone's gonna look at me like I'm late, but I'm definitely here 4 minutes early.
Yeah.
I said I didn't want salmon. I said it 4 times. 4 minutes ago. Either way, incredible. You made it. It was good.
It was an awesome wedding though. A lot of fun. I was really happy I was able to like suck down a drink or two later in the night. I was very scared of drinking any alcohol because I was so just currently post flu that I was just terrified. So I was just drinking waters for a long time.
Yeah.
But ended up good.
It turned out good. I think everyone survived. There weren't any mass casualties, I don't think. Other than wherever they ended up after sounded potentially like it was a bad deal, but I didn't go there.
They went somewhere. What happened after?
I don't know.
They went to a bar afterwards.
I think they went to Plums. Where's Plum? Anybody know what that's all about?
I don't know what Plums is.
Neither do I.
I know they said it when they were leaving, and I was like, I don't think that's where our Uber's going. So.
Then you guys just Ubered back to the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Waldron tried to get us to leave a little bit earlier, and then we were like going to, and then I went over to like Sam and Steph, and they're like, "We're staying," and I was like, "All right."
And then we stayed for like 10 more minutes.
Yeah, we were gonna leave
till we were asked to leave. We stayed till we were asked to leave.
There you go. Yeah, we left we were gonna leave at like 10, but then Alyssa was having so much fun with all the other fishing wives and girlfriends that she was like she wanted to stay longer, and I was like, yeah, sure, we can stay. And I was the one driving, so I only had like 2 or 3 drinks the whole evening, so just chilled. Yeah. I had to drive back, drop Rello off, and then drive all the way back to Clearwater, but wasn't bad at all, so can't complain.
Yeah, best decision I made was getting a hotel there. Even though it's literally probably 10 minutes from my house.
I was going to say, I would argue that all day. It's 10 minutes from your house. That's a tremendous waste of money.
It wasn't. It was great. That it was just right there. Boom. Straight back.
You know what it was? Guess how long the Uber ride to your house would have been?
Well, probably longer because the hotel was only like 2 minutes from the venue.
Yeah, okay. But Adam, you're an old married man now. You know what I mean? You're an old married man living with your wife. You know what I mean? Like, you got to remember the days when you're just ratting around with your girlfriend. You got a hotel room, going to a wedding. Are you kidding me? Like, no. You're an old married man now. You wouldn't get it.
I wouldn't get a hotel that's 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah, but 10 minutes is a long time because that's double the time than you were early to the wedding.
That's fair. Touché.
Oh,
I guess we're not the same. All right.
Either way, really good wedding, and Bart, Ryan, and myself, like, it's really cool. A lot of our buddies, you know, are getting married and different stuff like that. And it's just like a big gathering of a lot of like fish heads and stuff that we haven't seen for years. Like Ryan and I, we went to Stevens Point with our good buddy Connor, and then we got to see other college fishing buddies from the Opens, even Midwest fishing boys that are not too far away that we just don't see unless we go to one of these fishing boys' weddings. And it's just like,
oh yeah,
you get a bunch of fishermen together in a room and some loud music and in a bar that's close to the dance floor. Like, it's just a good time. So either way,
was this your first wedding being at one engaged?
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like weddings are very different when you're engaged. Not super different, but like you look at them differently because suddenly you're like somewhat taking notes in your head, and you're not trying to, but you are.
Steph and I, like that. That's what we kind of did the whole way to the wedding and the whole way back. We're like, you know, let's take a look at this and see what, you know, we liked or didn't like, or what would work, or what we, we were definitely, we analyzed it different after the wedding of like, oh, I could see us doing something like that or not. So that's interesting.
Things we've seen, things we haven't seen. Yeah, because you never. I mean, I never thought of that before until all of a sudden it was like, oh, I got to get married, and then we were going to a wedding, and I was like, why'd they do that? I didn't like that, but you know, it's everybody's is a little different.
I loved every moment of their wedding, other than the fact that the bartender said that they would not do shots or vodka Red Bulls. Drew the line right there.
Really?
Yeah. Just saying. Incredible.
Black tie wedding.
Interesting.
No D-gens. That's what they said.
That's actually kind of funny.
Dang, I didn't know that.
The reception place was awesome.
I will say, here's kind of a shout out to Connor's wedding and Bart's wedding. While I was at the wedding, I wore my straight up burgundy maroonish suit that I was the flower boy for Bart's wedding at. I was like, dude, this is a black tie wedding. Like, I need a suit. I'm like, I'm not getting a different one. Like, I paid for this for Adams, and it looks freaking dope. So I wore it, and I was like, hopefully Ryan doesn't wear it. And Ryan rolls in wearing something else steezy. I was like, oh, yes. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, Bart doesn't have this color. He was the groom. Cool, I'm good. So and then so I actually got a lot of compliments on it, and for like the random people that wouldn't have known about Bart's wedding, I was like, oh yeah, I thought it looked good when I picked it out, you know. And so I didn't tell him it was for your wedding. And then the DJ walked up to me. He's like, dude, I used to wear that same suit and I've been to like 40, 50 weddings that I DJ'd. Used to get compliments on all the time. Looks dope. And I was like, oh, I gotta go tell Adam. I was like, dude, thank you. This is my flower boy suit. And he looked at me a little cross-eyed.
Dude, the burgundy suit hits.
It does, dude. It hits good.
Dude, just remember that, fishing folks. Don't be scared to throw a little color out there. Don't be scared. You look good. It's a time to dress up. When people are like black tie dress up wedding, just be like, you know what? I'm going to dress up.
Yeah.
That's fair. I will say, though, as far as the dancing went, there was one dude there that was just absolutely electric.
Oh, my gosh.
He was very talented.
I'm so glad you brought this up. So this dude is like absolutely cutting a rug. They're playing like a lot of these old school, not old, maybe now old school, probably like 15 to 20-year-old songs that were popular back in 2008, 9, 10, 11. And this dude, like, I'm talking everything from Nelly to just club bangers, and this dude is just throttling the dance floor. He's so good, and we're like dancing by him. We're like, dude, who is this dude? Is the GOAT? Okay. And then I think it was either I think it was the bride. I think it was Sarah that came up to us, and she's like, oh, he's like a professional dancer. And we're like, oh, okay, all right, well, that makes sense. He could have said something. Like, we just thought this dude was so much better than any normal human.
He was damn good, though. It was fun.
He was very good. I saw Spock go like kind of try to dance up with him, like get into it with him. Like, let's do a dance off. And I was like, I don't think you're gonna win that, Spock.
It's like trying to get in a race car with Jeff Gordon and being like, let me drive.
Sobi, before we move on though, you got to talk about best moment from the wedding by far is you're chilling there and you're seeing people you kind of see every once in a while. You've maybe seen once or twice in your life. and all of a sudden you look at me and you go, "Oh my God, I remember that man over there, and I did some things that I very highly regret right now."
I really thought we were going to go on to the next segment of the podcast, and you guys wouldn't bring this up. I was actually really hoping you wouldn't bring this up.
It's so funny. You have to bring it up.
It is.
You like told us a story, and I was almost mad you told us a story because I wanted to hear it for the first time on the podcast.
Dude, my jaw was on the floor.
So the groom was our good buddy Connor Graham, and I lived with him at Stevens Point in college, and we were college tournament fishing partners. Like, we bass fished, our whole 4 years there, traveled the country together, really, really tight dudes. He's from kind of the Twin Cities area, and I'm from the South Metro. So obviously we didn't go to school or really live near each other. We just lived near each other by college. So I think it was our first winter back from college. I was on an ice fishing trip, and he was on like potentially an ice fishing trip or just a guy's weekend up north at his friend's super awesome cabin. And it was in Alexandria, Minnesota. And we were like, at this time, Snapchat was probably just coming out. He Snapchatted me. He's like, "I'm in Alexandria." I'm like, "What?" "I'm walleye fishing in Alexandria." He's like, "Come over to my buddy's cabin, dude. Like, we're drinking beers, having fun. Come on over." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, dude, yeah." And this is like, in college, you become fast friends, but he was one of my really good friends early at Stevens Point. So I was like, sweet, let's link up. So I went over to his buddy's cabin, and it was incredible cabin, incredible time. We played drinking games. We played arcade games. This kid's
also, for the record, because this is important to this. You went to this man's cabin, and it's not a cabin. It's like a multi-million-dollar lake home.
It was like a mansion, dude. It was so nice. I was like
skimmed over that a little bit, but all right, continue.
We're just a bunch of scrubby college kids. We roll into this, and it's a freaking mansion. So nice. I get to meet some of his friends from high school who I've never met before, and they're all super nice dudes. And one thing leads to another. We're up till like 2, 3 in the morning just drinking beers. And at that time, that ain't no thing. We're like 21, 22, whatever. And I don't know if I am anymore, but back in the day, I was a semi-decent artist when it comes to drawing, and really good at caricatures, really good at cartoons, and especially if I was drinking too many beers, like, I'd be drawing, dude. I'm drawing on stuff. I'll draw on your whiteboard. I grab Sharpies. I'd be drawing cartoon characters of the boys we're with, whatever. I'm drawing, and the owner of this cabin, that kid, he is like passed out on the couch, and like, what do you think a bunch of 21-year-olds are going to do, dude? They're like, "Let's draw on his face." So I'm like, "Oh, dude, yeah, dude, I'm really good at drawing." They're like, "No way, you do it." I'm like, "I will." So I proceed to just draw profanity over this man's face. So much of it, extremely detailed.
What did you draw?
You could probably picture it. Anyway, you can probably picture it.
No, please tell the people.
Profanity. Absolutely not work.
It is a piece of the human anatomy, Samuel. You can say it.
No, they can picture it. No need to say it. I think you know what we're talking about. I was probably 8.
Were they veiny?
So detailed. And it wasn't until like probably 3/4 the way we were done with them that we realized this was a permanent Sharpie, dude. We had just grabbed a marker, and this is a permanent marker. Some was black, some was blue, whatever. We just had a couple of them going, and Connor and the other guys were getting in on it. We're laughing up a storm. We're like, "Oh my gosh, it's permanent, dude." So we're like, it already went this far. So we just finished the job, and then we all crashed and went to bed. I wake up on the couch next to this super nice dude. And I like see my work from the night before. I go, "Oh my God, Eric, we need to get out of here." So we hopped in my little blazer and we buzzed off. And I shot Connor a text like, "Oh, thanks for having us over. Tell your pals it was nice to meet him." Never seen this dude again until last weekend at Connor's wedding on the dance floor. I made eye contact with him, and I was like, "Oh no, it's him, dude. I wonder if he knew it was me. I wonder if he was mad." It was permanent marker, and it was so much. And I don't know. It was incredible though. So like, I'm talking to Connor and Ryan, or I'm talking to Ryan and Bart, and I'm like shaking. I'm like, dude, I gotta tell you a story. Like, I see the dude. This is the dude.
The last time I saw this man, I was drawing so much human anatomy on this dude's face. You just looked at me. You were like, it was so detailed.
So detailed. Oh, dude, yeah. And then we get to talking with him, and he comes over and like has a beer with us, and all the guys are like looking at me like, and I'm like, oh, hey, we'll call him Eddie. Hey, Eddie, how are you? Like, oh, he's like, oh, dude, Sam, long time no see. I'm like, yeah, no, it has been a long time. And I don't think he necessarily remembered, but near miss.
But then Bart reminded him.
No.
I think it was Waldo.
No, it was Waldo. He told Waldo,
all right.
and Waldo immediately grabbed.
Waldo's a little squeal, dude. He's a little snitch. Waldo's a snitch.
Waldo grabbed Sobi and him and was like, "Hey, dude. Hey, do you remember each other?"
And I'm like, Matt.
Do you know what he did to you?
You're like, no.
I'm like, Matthew. No. Shh.
All right, I thought it was Bart, but I'm glad it was Waldo.
It was
Waldo. It was not me. I was chilling there because I was like, "This is great. I would love to see this keep going."
That was a good story, dude. It was a moment, dude, and this moment like hit me. God, when I saw his face, I recognized him so much.
So much.
Either way, let's move on. No more wedding stories.
All right,
that was a good one. People like that one.
Oh my God. Any tip-ups, brother?
No tip-ups, dude. I've got one in like 8.5 feet.
Heater's running.
It's too loud, dude. It's too loud.
Dude, I think the vibration from your truck would be like bringing them in.
I've got excellent bait too, dude. Like, it's so hard in South Metro to find big shiners, and I have exceptional big shiners, dude.
Damn.
Actually, I'll do a little side quest on that. On our way home from Connor Graham's wedding, Steph and I stopped at this local establishment called Boonies. It's a great little bar and grill. We got a Bloody Mary. We got a burger, kind of mending our wounds from the wedding night before. And I got to talking with this dude there. And he's like, dude, blah, blah, it's nice to meet you. I'm so-and-so. I like videos. I live kind of around here. And, like, me and my buddies are, like, big minnow heads. I'm like, what? He's like, me and this farmer and stuff. Like, we do throw out a lot of traps. He's got a license to trap and all this. And long story short, he proceeds to invite me to his buddy's barn, dude. And it was a minnow factory, dude. Like, I went in this back alley barn, and he's got just huge tanks from their cow tanks that like run a bunch of water through her with fatheads, suckers, freaking so many shiners, crappie minnows, bullfrogs, like small bullheads, like anything you would want. And there's so much of it. And he's like, oh, we just do this for kind of like friends and family, but you could throw a little cash in there. You come back to this little barn shed whenever you want. I'm like, you are the plug. You are the plug. So that's why,
dude, you're gonna have people offering you so much for knowing where that is.
Oh, it's the biggest plug I've come across in a while, dude. And that's why I've been like staking out some of these night spots, because I have just like the most beautiful shiners I've ever got a hold of in the South Metro ever. Like, big.
God, dude, those are gonna get thumped.
I know, dude. That's what
those walleyes out there just looking at them, and they're like, "This ain't real. What the fuck?"
They're probably like, "This doesn't even live here." What sort of farm pond you get this from?
Oh my God, that's awesome. I did partake in some fishing after the wedding. I will say that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We went and dabbled on some hidden water. Me and Nicole the next day, and we scored. It wasn't like electric, but we caught some really nice crappies, some nice bluegills, really nice, and then some pike as well. And dude, it was fun. Like, just going out, just like fun fishing and being like, all right, let's just see what we can get into. But yeah, dude, like, I don't know. Like I'm curious to see like what happens with this little bit of snow melt we got though, like with water levels and stuff, especially like on the river and things like that. But like, dude, I don't know if you were driving around it all today, but dude, there is like water moving all over the place.
There is water moving. There is different sections of creeks and rivers and creek mouths around me that are like wide open, dude. There's certain areas that I could open water fish right around my area in South Metro, like open water cast from shore. More open water than I could cast.
Dude, seriously. Like they're what 50 this weekend, dude.
It's unbelievable.
50.
Like
melt.
I do feel like it's super awesome weather for folks that want to hole hop around, and I love that, but I do almost feel bad for folks that love their hard shack house. You know what I mean? Like because the axes have been heaving up and they're getting sloppy, and everybody needs to probably take their hard shack out or take it off the lake if they have it on there. If you're in the metro,
yeah, at least if you're south of me. It's not. I mean, it's supposed to be warm by me, but nothing too crazy. I don't have any.
It's supposed to be warm down here.
It's not. Yeah, it's supposed to get up to like 40, but it's not like we got some moving water, but it's not as crazy up by me.
Yeah. Dang. Did you guys do anything for the Super Bowl? Because I ended up missing like half of the thing because we were fishing and then we bailed late.
Well, hold on, back up. I saw a picture that you posted. Looks like you got into some exceptionally big bluegills. Is that true?
Some bigs, dude. Yes. And not like a lot of them, but like good ones, dude. Freaking donks. Absolute skyscrapers too. Like, well, I think I texted you about it.
Yeah.
But
yeah. They look
the
like huge ears. Big bowls.
Or whatever.
Yeah, they were super pretty too. Like they weren't the like super colored up, I'll say, but just big freaking tank gills, dude. Yeah. And they were super finicky. Like all big bluegills, I guess, but like even more so for whatever reason on that. Because even the crappies weren't like on fire, but like you could get them to go. But
it's kind of. I mean, it is warm out, and we've lost a lot of snow. But you got to remember, it is February. Like it's midwinter right now. Like we're not in late ice patterns yet or anything. Like, yes, it's warming up this week, but I like the extended forecast. It's cooling right back down in like 10 days. So,
yeah, that's what's so weird. Is it just the way there's no snow in my yard and there's like water on the lakes as I'm setting up tip ups tonight. It feels like March. It's weird. My head it's weird. It feels like spring almost.
Yeah, hey, if you want to feel like it's much more winter than it is around your house, I got a 3-hour drive for you where you will be in a winter fucking wonderland, man. Because that's where our videos will be coming from. And I saw a lot of snow, and there's still a lot of snow there.
Yeah, that's not changing anytime soon there.
No, not at all.
Yeah. But yes, the fishing was good. It was fun. Little multi-species situation was good.
And then how about the Super Bowl for you, Bart? Did you do anything cool, or were you?
No, I was mainly driving. I got home right after the halftime show? Might have been right after the halftime show. And then I just watched the rest of the game. But I had it going on YouTube TV, so I was checking in. I don't know. It was a Super Bowl, so defensive stalemate, fun to watch.
Shout out Sam Darnold too. Like that's cool to see him win a Super Bowl, dude. That's awesome.
I mean, like dude. I feel like we all joked like when he left, we're like, oh yeah, watch, we let him go, and now he's gonna go win the Super Bowl somewhere else, and then it happened, and you're like, yeah, that's about right.
Like I'll always have resentment, but not exactly toward him.
No. I have no resentment for Sam Darnold. I have it all for Kwesi. Which, by the way, since the last time we recorded Bart Sports Update, Kwesi's been fired. Thank God. So
and tell folks who Kwesi is if they're not sure.
He was the old Vikings GM, which when we were talking at the conclusion of the year, I had mentioned that I liked KOC and the team and stuff, but I really think there's a huge disconnect from the GM position and the coaching staff, and it turns out that was all correct. So they got once he got to the Super Bowl, they were like, "Yeah, you can't really, sometimes with jobs, you make a decision, and if you make the wrong one, you get fired for it." That had the right pink. Like if you pick,
I don't know. I haven't cracked that code yet.
If you pick the wrong chemical and you throw it in a pond, you could potentially be fired.
I guess that is true.
You just haven't done it yet. He picked the wrong chemical and he put it in the pond. He got fired.
It'd be like that sometimes, you know?
Yeah. But no, I mean, Super Bowl was fine. The only thing I will say that watching it, I mean, a couple things. One, I miss the days of like good Super Bowl commercials, man.
Yeah, there
were a couple good ones, but
there wasn't any that stood out. I'm trying to think back because we tried to pay attention, at least for a decent amount of it, to the commercials as well. There was maybe one Budweiser one that was kind of cool, where like an eagle and the horse grew up together. But other than that, there wasn't. Yeah.
I know that exact one. I enjoyed that one. Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think there was anything else that stood out to me as far as commercials.
I was very depressed that I feel like our society is just crypto, AI, and gambling. That's basically
that was a lot of them.
That's what all the commercials were.
Yeah, that we were going to do a PTV commercial on there, and then some different things fell through, and some side actors were just like, I don't know. We just couldn't get,
It's hard to coordinate.
In time.
Yeah, we can barely record at the right time. Get a Super Bowl commercial done was another thing.
Did you guys eat any good food? Steph and I smoked some chicken wangs.
I did this. I had a Traeger full of wings, and then we knifed all the crappies we caught and made some dank little fish cakes.
Yum.
I had Chipotle. Like I said, I was driving, so I just pulled into Chipotle, grabbed some Chipotle, and kept driving.
Right on.
Nice. There was also another champion crowned on Sunday. Are we about to get into that? Well, are we about to get into the first elite?
I think you're right. Yeah, let's talk about it. Not only the first one, but the quickly approaching second one.
Yeah, Hank Cherry won.
Which was not a wire-to-wire win. This was if you haven't tuned in to Bassmaster yet, this was the first tournament of the season. And it was actually a fairly exciting one. A lot of places being traded around the whole time. Some pretty good bags getting weighed in. And I don't know. I didn't catch a ton of the live coverage, but the stuff I saw was pretty good and kind of interesting to see how people were catching them, given that this was a restricted live scope tournament to start the season off. So, what did you guys get to watch any of the live at all?
I did not get to watch a lot of it. It went down kind of how I figured it would. In terms of like with the trap, I was very surprised more guys were not blind shaking a minnow. That's how Jamie Hartman was leading it going into the last day, and he was the only one doing it. So I was pretty surprised by that. So cool to see that that technique isn't only live scope dependent. And obviously fishing troughs and stuff. The one thing I did think was really cool though, where Stetson and Hank were fishing, this was like 8 or 10 years ago. I fished I think it was a Fishers of Men National Championship down on Gunnersville in like April or something. And I fished the areas they were in. I fished a ton. So like when I saw where they were, I was like, oh my God, I know exactly what he's fishing right now. That's cool. So I was able to relate to that for both of them. Very familiar with that part of the lake. But it kind of, like I said, it went down how I kind of thought it would until the last day when Hank Cherry was like, I'm going to swim a grub and beat everybody. That was wild. Swimming an old school grub. That was cool.
Like straight up an OG, I don't know the brand of it, but it's like a Mr. Twister freaking chartreuse grub.
Oh, dude, there's so many like bait makers in their own basement that like are posting everywhere like, can't believe he won it on my grub, because he won't say what it was. So everybody's like trying to take credit for it. And it's like, dude, it's like some generic grub. Like,
it probably is.
It's a grub.
God,
he was throwing a grub.
Like one of the most old school bass fishing techniques. That's incredible. He won it on the grub. And then also something incredible. It was his birthday, dude. Like, imagine winning a blue trophy on your birthday.
So epic. Incredible.
Like,
was that his? How many times has he won now? He's won 2 classics. I don't know how many elites, but Tank Cherry,
dude catches
legend.
him.
He's extremely underrated angler. Definitely for sure. Extremely
underrated.
Dude catches.
He does.
But yeah, the first one was sick. I'm not exactly sure how fantasy played out, but based on the text I received from Sam, I'm assuming that Sam got first place in the first one. If he didn't, I'm going to be like, you got to be leading our group, right?
Oh, without a doubt. I just gave a light glance and I was like, oh, dang. Like, I think I'm in like 37th or something on the PTB.
So, okay, let's just say Sobi's been throwing some shade in the group chat here regarding his picks that were given to him via Dave Mercer. And really kind of throwing around some serious rhetoric about, being the GOAT and such. And I would like to say that let's just take a look here while I'm scrolling down. Very interesting. Not in first place, even in our group, which is, really something to brag about here. Let's see here. Sobi. Okay. 40th place.
Really?
40th.
Oh.
In PTB.
Damn, people had good lineups if I'm in 40th, because I picked Hank Cherry. I had Kyle Welcher in there. Like, I
Oh, there he goes. That's what a bummer.
No, that's such a shame. We don't get to hear from him anymore.
He doesn't get to tell us how great he is. Oh my god. Also, I would like to make a. I didn't get to talk about this because of the last podcast, but I did. I did listen a little bit, and I do just want to make a statement about fantasy fishing for the people. So, like I had said at the beginning of the year, I was not going to make a fantasy fishing group because I do not feel like it is the appropriate thing to do since Sam is not paid for his bet and has yet to do so, and I do not believe it will happen. So my way of protest currently in fantasy fishing is I will be trying to make the absolute worst lineup I possibly can every week and not trying because I truly don't care and none of this matters because Sam will not live up to his word. And he is not a man of integrity.
I think that's your cop out right away. Like you had a horrible lineup. They were so bad, dude.
I was literally going to say it at the beginning of the year, and I'm gonna do it every week. I'm going to try to pick the lowest scoring lineup possible every week.
You imagine getting in a game of kickball when you're in like 3rd grade and you totally whiff the ball and you're like, I've totally forgot to tell everyone like I was trying to miss.
I'm not even trying.
Yeah,
I wasn't there. I was dying. Like, you guys puking my brains out.
Oh, either way,
that's my protest for all our PTB fans. I'm legitimately not going to try. So. I hope you enjoy this shitty segment of fantasy fishing.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see your lineup. I'm excited to see your lineup for this week. Or going to Martin. You better not have one scoper in your lineup if you're holding true to your word.
I told you that. What you think? I'm kidding? I literally am trying to take last. I kind of did shitty at the last one. I kind of did too good. But I did. I mean, like in terms of doing bad, I did very bad, but like not bad.
Didn't you lose last time?
Yeah, but I'm still in the 31 percentile. I was hoping to be in like the 5 percentile.
I'm having trouble even finding your lineup from last week here.
I'm in the group. I did bad, just not like I'm not in last.
But if you were in first, would you have been like, I'm not even trying?
Yeah, I would have said that was an accident. Like, I tried to pick I tried to pick the worst lineup. I'm in protest of Sobi wanting to do fantasy fishing.
I'm the GOAT.
Okay.
No, you're a piece of shit.
Well, there's that.
So give me a breakdown on Lake Martin.
Place, dude.
Huh? What are you talking about? I wasn't in 40th. I was in like 300.
Sobi is in 40th place.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah.
No, you're like 256th place.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40th is just right ahead of that, just barely.
Yeah, I tried to lose, so.
Okay, give us a Lake Martin breakdown as the elites leave Gunnersville. They head over to.
Matters.
This is.
All right, Bart, lead us off with your picks. Let's hear it.
Wait, you actually want me to?
Yeah.
Okay. Martin, I think the Opens went there last year. I think it's a spotted bass fishery. I think it's going to be pretty low weights. But since it's a spotted bass fishery, obviously, Live Scope should play a bunch. In bucket A and everything. Okay, let me look here. Just getting in. A smart pick would probably be Trey McKinney or someone like that. However, I will not be picking any of them. I'm going to be going with Keith Combs.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I think Keith Combs. Also, just for the record, if anyone listens to this and they're on the Elite Series and stuff, and I am actively picking them because I think they're going to do the worst, it is because of Sobi. It's not because I dislike you. I want to root for you. I hope you prove me wrong. It's because Sobi sucks. So,
all right, bucket B.
To pick who I think will do worse. Bucket B. If you were someone who actually cared about fantasy, it would probably be smart to pick Taku or Paul Marks because it's a spotted bass event and they're good with live scope and good with spots. However, none of this matters, so I'm going to go with Cliff Pace. He's from Mississippi and notoriously hates live scope, so I'm going to go with him.
Bucket C.
Bucket C, once again, if you were someone who cared about fantasy fishing, you'd probably pick Easton Fothergill because he's one of the best live scope fishermen in the world. But I don't care about this, and none of this matters. So I'm going to go with Brad Watley from Bivens, Texas, who also very openly hates live scope. So
shout out Brad.
Shout out Brad. I think he's going to do great at this one.
Bucket D.
Bucket D, this one's kind of all over the place, but local hammer will be Will Davis more than likely. So you'll probably want to go with him actually at a pretty good percentage too if you were to actually care about this and want to do quite well. Tucker Smith would obviously also be a good option. However, I'm going to go with the legend and Hall of Famer Mark Menendez. Sorry, Mark, but I just don't think this one's going to go too well for you. And then bucket E, if you wanted a sneaky person who's extremely good with live scope, who probably would do really well there, it would be Austin Cranford from Oklahoma. Otherwise, someone like Justin Hamner would be a good option. I don't know if Jordan Lee really would be. He's fished there a bunch, but I know he's got a bunch of percentage. However, once again, fantasy fishing doesn't matter. Sam Sobi's a piece of shit, and he will not follow through on his bet for 2 years now. So I will be picking, I think, Chris Zaldane will do the worst out of bucket E. So I will pick him on my team.
Dang, dude, you went to a wedding with Chris. I'm telling him.
Well, I explicitly stated this at the beginning that this is your fault. So
yeah, but the soundbite of it will probably cut that out.
So that's my lineup. That's who I think is going to do the worst at Barton.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, Ryan, let's hear it.
All right, I'll burn through mine here. I got because I feel like I have a shot to win this whole thing because Sobi definitely can't do it 2 times in a row, and Bart's clearly going to lose. I'm taking bucket A. I'm taking Trey McKinney. B. I'm taking Taku. I just want to hear him say that he caught him. In that's pretty much totally why. I just want to hear it. C. I went Easton. D. I took Tucker Smith, and E. I took Emil Wagner.
Oh yeah, that would be a good pick in E too if you cared about it. Yeah,
that's a good lineup. That's a good lineup, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
These boys wanted me to because they don't know the GOAT's picks. So I'll give you the picks right now. Bucket A, Trey McKinney. How do you not choose Trey McKinney? He's been consistent in the unlive scope tournament, and he's been consistent for his whole career with bass. And he's a scope freak. He's going to crush them. Bucket B, kind of a sneakier pick. Incredible with live scope, good with the jerkbait. Jacob Fouts, I think he's going to have a breakout tournament here. Bucket C, how do you not choose our boy Easton Fothergill? He's going to smash. I feel like he struggled a little bit at Guntersville, and he's going to come out mad at him. Bucket D, Tucker Smith all the way, Alabama boy, and a freak show with his live scope, and just a really, really consistent angler. He's going to smash. And then bucket E, Justin Hamner, also from Alabama, incredible with the scope, incredible with the jerkbait. So this is kind of a star-studded lineup here. This is either going to be really good or maybe it just goes the other way, but I feel like there's got to be some consistent picks in there.
Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely winning this week, no doubt.
I feel confident you'll probably beat me.
Although I would love for Bart's team to just absolutely smash.
It'd be wild. Like I said, I'm actively trying to lose. So, what do you guys pick for weight? I did actually try to pick the correct weight because I do.
Yeah, I had 61 pounds.
I
did 50. I did 55.4. I think it's gonna be a little lighter than we think.
Yeah, it'll be like 15-ish a day, I think.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Honestly, could be even less, but yeah. So there's your fantasy fishing preview. Once again, Sam Sobi sucks. He's never gonna fish a tournament with a Barbie rod. And I don't know how people enjoy this guy.
I don't know, man. He's just sitting in the dark.
PTB Nation should just go dislike all of his YouTube videos as he starts posting. We should give him the Randy Blockett treatment.
Knock him down a peg.
I think I'm going to win this league back to back.
He's trying to get to 100K.
There's no way.
We can make sure that doesn't happen.
I think I could back to back this league, dude. I could back to back.
I don't see it, dude. You're not that guy.
It's that Conor McGregor one where he's got both the belts. I need to do that.
Did he win last? We didn't even keep track last year.
Oh yeah, I won the league last year, son. You're looking at your reigning champion.
But nothing.
It's the GOAT. It's the GOAT.
There was no reward for winning, no punishment for losing, because nobody has the integrity to actually follow through on a bet.
Look, as the only person on this pod that has never lost, I just want to say, get ready, brother. It's coming.
I like it. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Also, just for the record, too, before we have our guest on, Sobi is also the only person who hasn't followed through on sending the 1,000 subscriber gift to the winner. And that's over a year in the making as well. So Sobi's just not a man of his word.
And he's
good things come to those that wait.
Yeah, that'll surely happen.
Yeah, that's
you've totally messaged him back on Instagram too, because he sent me the screenshots of you not.
you gotta resend me his username and handle for sure, or his address. Resend me his address.
Read some DMs once in a while.
Yeah, why don't you just reply to Zabill's podcast? That's what it is. That's not that hard.
Okay. Another podcast one?
No, he's just one of the listeners. God.
But does he have his own podcast?
Yeah. This is for the 1,000 sub giveaway, and we're at almost 2,000 subs, or over 2,000 now, Sobi. That's how bad you are at following through with your word.
Shoot me that address, boy.
We'll start making a list of all the failures.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next segment.
All right. I think we should probably get to our guest now.
It's probably for the best.
All right. So, Sobi, do you want to do a little bit of an interview or introduction? Or are you preoccupied by your tip-ups?
I think you should introduce him. You've met this guest.
I have met this guy. Okay. So we'll do a little bit of an introduction. We'll bring him on in. But, man, honestly, it doesn't really need an introduction these days. He stormed into the bass fishing scene 3 or 4 years ago. Still in his mid-20s. I don't think he can grow facial hair, but that doesn't stop him from catching bass all over the country. Already over $1 million in winnings in his career. That's probably more than I'll ever earn in my entire life working in the fishing industry. Incredibly successful. Great dude. Catches them everywhere. Probably the best live scoper in the world, Mr. Drew Gill. Welcome, Drew.
Appreciate it, Bart. Thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for making it, buddy. Where were you driving
Thanks
to?
for coming, Drew.
So I was driving to my grandparents' house. I'm just north of Atlanta right now. So we've got a few days before practice starts at Hartwell. So I'm gonna goof around at Lanier for a few days, see what I can't do.
Nice. What is it? Is there a BPT? Is it BPT at Hartwell?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Next week.
Gotcha. So when you're like traveling the country early in the year and stuff, like right now, do you just like leave all the trophies chilling in the passenger seat, or like how does the award chest look like in the vehicle as you win as often as you do?
So the convenient part of it is like Gunnersville. I had to go home after the event was over because I had like a week and a half. So I took that trophy home, put it in my room, whatever. And then for this one, there was a little hiccup with the situation. So the trophy is back with the trophy company for them to.
What's the hiccup?
Whoa!
Did you drop
Whoa!
it?
What was the hiccup?
It was not on my behalf or Major League Fishing's behalf. And the funny thing is, the only reason I bring this up is like I've won 2 pro circuit trophies. Both times I've not gotten to leave the parking lot with them. So that's every single tournament I'm going to show up and be like, "Hey, Kevin," which Kevin Hunt is the tournament director for the pro circuit. Be like, "Hey, Kevin, when you open the trophy, is it entirely intact? Because if it's not, I'm finna win." So it's only 2 times they've had that happen in the last 3 years, and both times it's happened to me. So that one will be getting mailed to the house as soon as that gets remedied. So that's a good thing, because honestly, man, like, I've never had my truck broken into going to an event or anything, but like if it was my trophy, honestly, I would be more distraught than about anything else in the truck. So I'm glad that I don't have to tote it around, and I don't tote the checks around either. I have them all, mail them all to the house. I don't want to touch any of it. I don't want to be responsible for any of it. I don't want to have any level of responsibility until the moment that I can literally pick it up and take it to the bank.
Yeah, so you're not waiting in the check line afterwards, where most of the people are like, "I need that check to like fill up my gas tank on the way home." You're like, just send that home."
I mean, right now, so the Bass Pro Tour events, those come by wire, not by check. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So
that's
those are direct
like
deposit.
It's nice, but like at the same, like there's something satisfying
Dude,
about.
wish-
Is there a loss of nostalgia there when you're just like, oh, when they don't hand you that physical check, or you're like, no, sweet.
Check's a piece of paper, wires just e-transfer. Like, you know what I want? Briefcase,
Just cash.
You know how much of a statement that would be if whenever somebody won a tour level event, they walk out on stage, bring the trophy, not the big cardboard check, bring out a briefcase, maybe have some sort of crest on it or stamp on it, unclip hinges. They got to be metal. They got to have a clunk. I don't want to hear them click. They got a clunk. Clunk. Open it up. Cash is in there. You get to kind of take a look, make sure it's all there. Shut it. Hand you the briefcase, and you walk out with a super sick, like fancy leather briefcase and a trophy.
I like that. Especially from like the
dope.
fan point of view, like if they're fans kind of at the weigh-in, like, and they see the trophy and a big check, they're probably like, that's awesome, good for that guy. But if they just open that up and just threw money in the air and they're like, Drew Gill has just won $100,000, like, that'd be electric, dude.
Yeah.
He's about to get jumped in the parking lot.
And you give opportunity for giving back immediately too. Like I can just see Drew walking into the front row, and the little kids. He's like, "You get 100, you get 100, you get 100." You're just walking around.
Oh man, dude, that would be cool though. Like if we can live in an imagination land where that doesn't create unforeseen significant difficulties, like that would be so cool.
I like where your head's at with that one. That one. I'd watch that, dude. I'm clicking in.
100%. I mean, if they want viewership, like let's film not just them getting the briefcase. Let's film the hour afterwards.
Yeah.
Let's film what happens.
Trying to get
get it to the bank.
Mm-hmm. the moment when you realize, like, that first hour is fun, but then when it hits you and you're like, oh my God, I have $100,000 in cash in my car. Like,
You get to carry the tournament stress with you until you get to the bank.
Have you ever
it's like
made
coming in for check-in and you stall, blow a tire on the side of the road, and you're like, oh no, I gotta call somebody to come pick me up.
Have you ever made any electric big purchases after like a big win, something like that? Where you're like, okay, like I think I'm gonna get Mama a new car, something like that.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna come with a really boring, stupid, sentimental answer. But
Ooh.
the electric big purchase is like, for us doing this for a living, when you win one, you've just bought yourself for sure, like, it in a very base sense. And we're at this point kind of past this now. But I remember when I won my first one at Rayburn, I was like, man, like this ensures I get to do this for at least another full year after this year. Like it buys me more time and more opportunities to get to experience it. And like, I know that sounds like all mushy and sentimental and stuff, and it's a lot less cool than saying I went out and I bought a Corvette. But man, like for me, the reward is I get to go fishing whenever I want to. It's so fun. It's sick.
But you bought a Corvette.
That's awesome,
too, right? Damn.
I did get a new Tundra.
Okay,
that
there
I
you
picked
go.
up before I went to the Harris chain.
Hell yeah.
And it is sick, and it is a lot more upgraded than my last one. So it looks super cool, but no Corvettes, no irrational decisions. I didn't put a down payment on a $4 million house. Nothing insane or ridiculous.
What's been the victory dinner of choice?
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Has to happen.
This one was during the Super Bowl. So I went and picked up pizza from Mamma Mia's Italian and brought it back to the house, and we watched Super Bowl. I stayed with the Robinsons, so it was like Marty and Iris and all those folks. And then at Gunnersville, my family was there, so we just walked in and ate dinner at the restaurant that was at the dock at Gunnersville. So I'm gonna be honest, it's been more of a convenience factor. I think every time I've won one, I've ended up when I won at Rayburn, the first one I won, there was nothing around. We were staying in a house in the middle of nowhere, and I thought there was going to be something around. So I ended up it was me and Nick LeBrun and my buddy Cole Breeden and Britt Myers, and we were all staying at the same house. And I went and got a bunch of those, those Hunt Brothers pizzas that are at the gas station that are like, these or Godfathers. I can't remember which one it was, but I went and bought like 8 of those and brought them back, and we all had two personal pizzas each. That was pretty cool. So,
They're like,
we'll have
thanks,
to work
Drew.
on it.
Thanks, Drew.
yeah.
Really good at picking, really bad at the post.
It was a big.
They were a BOGO, guys.
Yeah, it was a big the thought that counts type thing. Because
dude,
I've never done anything too fancy.
What's your favorite food? Yeah, what's your favorite food?
I'm gonna be honest. So we're gonna go fast food here so that we get kind of mainstream and we do something that people can kind of resonate with. It's hard for me to see that blue and white sign from a distance and not pull over. I'm a Culver's guy through and through.
Oh hell yeah, Midwesterner.
100%. I hit it up today. And man, as far as like a complete wholesome fast food meal that like I genuinely want to eat and have a hard time not choosing, it's Culver's.
It's a good
All
choice.
right, what were you gonna say before you said Culver's?
If we're just talking favorite food, like just as a generalization, I mean pasta. Any sort of pasta is hard to beat. I'm a carbs guy. Like I'm not like, yeah, steak's good. Like I'm fine with it. But if I'm like any meal that I have, like it, with a protein of any kind, dude, there's got to be carbs. It's got to be like I like a burger because it's a sandwich, pizza, bread, pasta, essentially just softer, more wet bread. Like carbs are fire. I want carbs as a part of it. I'm not just ordering like a big steak and just eating steak. Like that's not my idea of celebration. This has got carbs involved.
Pasta man.
Like
Okay. Okay.
Hey, you want to be a champion, dude? You got to carb up.
That's a fact. My dad used to run marathons when I was a kid. And so I remember carb loading, and I was like, oh, this is what you do the night before you're about to do something you're looking forward to. My mind didn't go, oh, you need to carb load so you have energy. It was like, oh, we're celebrating. That's what carb loading is. We're just celebrating. And so now I carb load before I go stand on my front deck all day and fish a tournament. and it's kind of correlation causation. But I carb load for just about everything in life.
I like that. I like that. Dang.
I'm gonna put that on a quote card.
I carb load for everything.
load for everything. in
Put
life.
that on
What's
a
your
t-shirt,
key to
dude.
success? I carb load everything in life.
Oh my god,
That's
good,
great.
Okay, so I have a question. I want to run it back. You're from Illinois originally, right?
Still am.
Okay, so where in Illinois were you born and raised? And yeah, that's my first question. And then my next will come.
So I'm from southeastern Illinois. So I'm down by Evansville, Indiana. 45 minutes west of there. I'm about 2 hours east of St. Louis, Missouri. So I'm pretty far south for Illinois. So I'm latitude wise pretty close to Louisville, Kentucky. So I'm from down a ways, but I'm still definitely not from far enough south in the state where everyone seems to think they're from Kentucky and tries to act like it. I am from the Midwest, dang it, and it's really hard for me to a lot of people want to move and like, dude, I got to admit, yeah, there's incredible bass fishing elsewhere, and honestly, it's probably a lot better than what we have at home, but that Midwest is a part of me, and I love where I live, man. So that's where I'm from.
Dang.
Nice.
Okay, so what's the home pond then? Like where you really cut your teeth? Probably just
So-
learning to fish.
Small lakes. We've got a few of them near the house: Newton Lake, East Fork Lake, and Mill Creek Lake. You probably never heard of any of them. If you have, it would be Newton. It's one that there's been a couple. Denny Brower used to shoot some stuff out there. I think Zona shot one show out there, but like it's a power plant lake. The closest major fishery to me is Kentucky Lake. It's about 2 hours away. So that's the first big lake that I learned on. And yeah, those are the places that I started fishing. But man, until I was 15, I never saw or 14, I never saw a body of water bigger than 1,000 acres. Like we fish small bodies of water, a lot of boat pressure, horsepower limits, like essentially a lot of 10 rig fisheries. So that's kind of where I started out for sure around the house.
You heard
Okay.
of Lake Carlisle?
I have been to Lake Carlisle.
We've told some horror stories of Lake Carlisle from the early days of the college fishing. Sobi was involved in a tournament there.
And Ryan.
How many fish were weighed in?
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan was there. Yeah, how many fish were weighed in, boys?
I think like almost 12 or 15.
Oh dang! So you had a pretty big field for that one.
Yeah, there was like 100 boats.
Yeah, no, there was like 150 boats, and me and my buddy Connor weighed in like one bass, and that qualified as sort of the FLW National
that's legit,
Championship.
dude.
And we're like,
Actually,
okay.
Any fish caught, you were in.
Yeah,
All you did
Onto
was
the
catch
ship.
a bass.
Has it been bad when you've been there?
I fished one, and I did not weigh a bass. I remember I fished in a marina around a bunch of other boats throwing bobbers with flies underneath for bass intentionally. And it got one with 5 pounds. So it was a very bad time. It was the only time I've been to Carlisle Lake. Actually, I had planned, so it's like 2 hours from the house. So I was like, screw it. I'll just get up early. I'm not practicing for Carlisle. That place sucks. It's not going to do me any good. So I was like, it was an invitational, like a, 1-day tournament. So I was like, I'll just get up in the morning and drive. We had just gotten back from Guntersville for another college tournament. It was on Friday. And we got back from Guntersville at like 11:30 at night. That was my first ever top 10. So, obviously, for my standards, partied hard. We went to Culver's, and that was pretty lit. Yeah, we cashed our first check in a college tournament. We got $500. So we were jacked up. And, I was up till probably midnight, and then I went to sleep, forgot to set my alarm, woke up at like 8 a.m., got in the truck, drove to Carlisle, got started about 10:30, fished the least fun 3 hours of tournament fishing I've ever fished because it was heaving on Carlisle. The lake was orange, low, stumps everywhere, didn't catch jack squat, came into the weigh-in, saw 5 pounds wind, we got poured on, then turned around and drove home.
I feel like you
Damn,
did
I
it the
can
best
relate.
though. You did it the best though. Honestly, showing up late, showing a little face, putting the boat back on the trailer, only fished 3 hours, and then getting out of Carlisle.
Be like, we didn't get into them.
I got the better
Weird.
end of the deal. I had so many people congratulating me when I got back to the ramp at check-in. They were like, dude, congratulations. They're like, you did this the best way possible because you weren't here at takeoff. You came out here, you caught the same amount of bass as I did, and I got up at 4 a.m.
Oh my god, that lake's so sick, dude.
Like it's sick.
So
Sick.
bad.
Worse.
I think my
It's-
favorite part about that too is that Cade and Wyatt pulled up to their first spot that day and caught 4 for like 50. What'd they have? Like 14, 15 pounds?
Holy cow.
Like a mega sack.
The 4 biggest
Yeah.
fish in the lake.
Yeah.
I don't know what's
Dang.
more impressive, the 14 pounds or the 4 fish.
Yes.
Yeah, I should look back at whatever they
Dude,
caught there because
that
it was
place sucks.
insane.
Dang. Okay, so now I got a grip on where you're at in Illinois. Like, do you ever get ice there? Or is the water open year round?
Yeah, so we get ice. Other than Newton, which being a power plant lake, only about half of it freezes. But the rest of our lakes freeze. I've got buddies at the house that have done a little ice fishing this week, but we get so as far as ice goes, out of every 3 years, we'll probably get 1 year where there's ice fishing that is actually doable. And you'll go crappie fish for about 2 weeks, and that's all the ice fishing that happens all year long. And then it's like what happens is we kind of reside under like icebergs to glaze stage for like most of the winter, where like you can technically put a boat in, but because of all the farmland and the precipitation and the melt freeze, our lakes turn pretty brown. They hover right around freezing, and so it just kind of sucks all winter. So technically you can drop a boat in most of the winter, but your odds of success are very, very low. So yeah, we get ice. Geographic frame of reference. I'm like an hour and a half for crappie fishermen or elsewise that know where Wren Lake is. I'm about an hour and a half northeast of Wren Lake, which puts me about an hour and a half northeast of Trey, Kinney. So that's
I
also
drive over that lake every time I go to Kentucky. Is
Yeah,
that on the way from St. Louis to Paducah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
you would cross Wren. You'd go to like Mount Vernon and down probably.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, you'd cross Wren. It's a beautiful lake. It's very brown. It's generally very low, and it's got sticks in it. And it has crappie that arguably are big enough that the 5 biggest crappie you could go out intentionally crappie fishing most of the year are going to be bigger than the 5 biggest bass you could catch intentionally bass fishing.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's awesome.
Legitimately, you could go out there and intentionally catch 11 and change 12 pounds and 5 crappie, but 11 change 12 pounds and 5 bass is hard to do.
Just for the record, we'll move on from Carlisle, but I did find the results from that tournament, and I just read through them, and I'm like, I got to bring this up because this is just ludicrous. This was a 2-day event. They did fish 2 days, for the record.
Yeah, correct.
They did fish. Cade and Wyatt won. They had 12.06 for 4 fish. They caught 4 fish on day 1, 0 day 2. Second place was 3 fish for 7.07 in 2 days. Third place, don't worry, I'm going through this because there were so few spots that I can actually do this. Third place was 3 fish for 6.11. Fourth place was 2 fish for 4.6. Fifth place was 2 fish for 4.1. Sixth place, our boy, Sam Sobi and Connor Graham.
I still
Just
think that
got
fish
married.
was snagged.
I netted that fish.
It was
That's
snagged
what
in the
I'm saying.
back.
Sixth place with a 3.3, baby. Just a tank.
That's
A
big.
donkey.
And then seventh was 1 fish for 2.4. And eighth was 1 fish for 1.12. There was 1 bass caught on day 2 of competition.
That's unbelievable.
Was it
Where
2.9?
where did I end up?
Tied for 9th with the rest of the field
Fuck
was
yeah.
0.
Okay, top 10 one on
Wow.
Carlisle, boys.
Yeah, you did. It has you listed in 14th for some reason, but it doesn't make sense because you all had 0.
So
That's unbelievable.
with everyone that zeros, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think most organizations with zeros, the tiebreaker comes down to boat number. Meaning your highest leading boat number on day 1 would be what determines tiebreaker. So we've talked about this
They didn't
in jest
do it.
with the Bass Pro Tour events, and like you know, what would happen, like when we were at Eufaula, Oklahoma a couple years ago, I was like, what would happen if everyone zeroed? And they're like, basically, we'll determine the knockout round. I believe the conversation was, we'll determine the knockout round based on boat number. And based on the boat number you drew, we'll determine who makes the knockout round. I was like, oh, dang. That's crazy. And it was it was a pure hypothetical, because obviously that will never occur. But I think that's actually I want to say that's been the jurisdiction for tournament organizations, like in the past. I don't know that it's ever. I would like to know if there's a tournament where that's ever actually arisen. Like, imagine you go to a local tournament on the weekend, everybody puts their money in, nobody catches a bass, and they just do a payout, give some guy $400 because he was boat number 1.
They've done that at Carlisle, 100%. They had to.
They had to.
Okay. Tuesday night there for sure.
I've never drinking more beers faster than I did there.
I just can't believe there was only one bass caught on day 2. That is incredible.
Well, boats?
God,
how many boats were there, Bart?
I closed the page.
It was a lot. I mean, it was a college national championship qualifier.
Yeah, it was the. I'll find it quick.
Did you grow up fishing against Trey, or is he a little bit before, or I guess after your time?
So Trey, honestly, he was fishing tournaments for money for the most of his high school career. I fished high school tournaments. We didn't. I don't know that me and Trey ever fished the same tournament. I'm gonna be honest. Now that I'm thinking about it, we fished a couple Toyotas against each other. My first year of Toyota Series events. But other than that, me and Trey have never actually fished against each other, even though we live an hour and a half apart.
Interesting.
Because I fish mostly high school stuff, and then he fished a lot of stuff at like Lake of Egypt and Rend, and I fished stuff on our little lakes a little bit more north, more central toward me.
Interesting. It is crazy how close perspectively you guys grew up, though. That's interesting.
Yeah, middle of nowhere.
I would guess, because there's some double up of numbers and stuff, but I would guess it was around 60 boats.
Okay. Damn.
Still terrible. Okay. Anyways, we can move on from Carlisle now.
Jeez. Yeah.
That was the most anybody's ever talked about Carlisle on a podcast. It shouldn't have happened.
Honestly, probably. Surely.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have happened.
Should never have happened. I regret it already.
Okay, but so Drew, from when did you first start fishing the Toyota series?
2022.
How old were you at that time?
19 when I fished my first one.
Okay, so now you are 22. Okay, perfect. So having reached $1 million mark with FLW by the time you're 23, is that sunk in yet?
So here's the thing about that is, like, over the last few years, I've gotten to fish a lot of tournaments, and I'm engaged. I'm getting married in June. But over this time, I have been able to what's the word for it? Freeload off my parents, and still live under their roof while also taking this money and like putting away, investing it, blah, 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 blah. So I've not had to make any super mega purchases to make that number that, you log into your bank account app and make it a reality, because like I've just been putting it places and saving it for later. And so like it doesn't even feel real. Like technically it exists, but I haven't used it in a big boy manner yet, other than paying for boats and trucks. And I was already doing that before I was making money. The boats and trucks are just nicer now.
Yeah, I got you. Well, and I mean, not even in terms of just the dollar figures, but like this kind of like the success that comes along with that, and like the notoriety, like, like getting to the $1 million club in bass fishing, like that's something that like people stamp their careers on, of like, yeah, I made $1 million bass fishing, and it takes people like a decade or longer professionally to do it. And you've kind of done it in 3 or 4 years, like kind of crazy, right?
Dude, like it doesn't even, like, that doesn't even sound right. Like it's one of those things, man. I started bass fishing because I enjoy catching bass. It's a big reason why I went the route that I did, where I was like, if I want to make it, I want to make the Bass Pro Tour. I love every fish counts. I love reeling them in, and like that all stems from just like the experience of going out and fishing ponds with a backpack when I was a kid, and going out with my dad in our aluminum boat on the weekends, and going and reeling them in. And even if they were small ones, like it was a fun time. And like I didn't go into it with any aspirations of like, oh, I'm gonna become a professional tournament angler. And like, yeah, if you had asked me if I wanted to do that when I was 12, I would have said absolutely. That sounds sick. But I wouldn't have believed that that was even a feasible reality. So I didn't like pursue it. It kind of landed in my lap a little bit, because I went from fishing local tournaments and high school tournaments to, we started a club at Wabash Valley College for my first 2 years of college. And I was like, this will be a fun experience. I get to fish for 2 years. And the college will get to pay for me to go to a bunch of cool places. And then I realized after about a year and change in that I was like, oh dang, like I can kind of do this. Like I made a couple top 10s and some top 25s, and like, catching weight, in 5 fish tournaments that you compare it to Toyotas and BFLs and stuff, where I knew I could be competitive at that level. And so I was like, man, like I honestly could probably go fish some Toyotas or something and make some checks and do all right. And the opportunity arose through a family friend to get to fish one division of Toyotas. He essentially was like, hey man, would you like to go fish a few Toyota events? And they just signed me up one day for it. He just paid for me to fish them. And I was like, holy cow, I was like, this is my one shot. Like I was in my '01 Ranger, had my white Sierra with like 200 something thousand miles on it. Like, I mean, just ragged out system. And I got the opportunity to fish 3 Toyotas, and I was like, this is my shot. Like, this is my chance to go out there, prove to myself I can do it, make the money to pay for my chance to go fish Toyotas again the next year. And I made enough to, collect enough points, made enough money, made the Toyota Championship, and then went and popped off that one and finished third, and made the money that, allowed me to fish the pro circuit the next year. And really the ball just kind of rolled from there. And so like, if it wasn't for getting literally forcibly pushed into fishing the next level by a family friend of mine that paid for me to fish 3 Toyotas, like I wouldn't be here now. So like, it was one of those things. I didn't like set my sights on it and just like put motivational posters all over my room and like slap my door frame every day, just going, I'm gonna walk into professional bass fishing whether they like it or not. Like that wasn't on my radar at all. It just sort of manifested over time, and when every chance I had to walk through a door opened, I did. And it just kind of led to where I am now. So the $1 million thing, like, dude, that sounds so made up. I don't care how real it is. Like that just sounds ludicrous.
Yeah.
So it never feels real.
What do you think you'd be doing if you weren't fishing today?
Well, I was getting my business marketing degree, so probably something related to that. I wanted to just find a way that would allow me to eventually get into the industry. So I'd be trying to chase a way to get into selling tackle, probably. Was kind of the direction I wanted to go.
You turned out to be pretty good at that by catching fish.
Yeah, the fish help sell the tackle quite a bit.
Yeah. You've sold a lot of
that
those.
much as long as they bite it.
I was gonna say you've sold a couple, probably 100,000 of those Nico-Ramas or from Big Bite. Those things are sick.
Yeah. Those have caught me a lot of bass and sold a lot of themselves. And that Spotlight Minnow did too at Guntersville. That was really fun to the official release date was the day after the tournament ended, and the bass sold me a bunch of them there. So that was really cool. But yeah, I guess it's come full circle. I'm still selling tackle. And to be honest, now that I'm here, I'm like, man, awful lot of this job selling tackle, baby. And it's definitely what I would have been doing if I wasn't, or hoping to be doing if I wasn't fishing tournaments. But it's what I ended up doing regardless.
Yeah, for sure. Well, okay, so kind of diving into like you getting up in this and everything. So like you're a super humble guy. I've heard you in a ton of different interviews and talked to you a bunch. Like you're very humble and everything that's happened, obviously, with this. But even with that, like with peeling back the layers on this and stuff a little bit, when was the first time maybe you were fishing a tournament and stuff and you were just like, I think I'm better than the guys around me? Because that's like that's had to have registered in your brain to some level where you've been like, wait a second, I'm wired a little bit differently. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like there's had to have been a moment where you're like, oh, this is different for me than others. Like, can you think of that moment?
Sophomore year at the Harris chain in February. We were there for Bassmaster event. I was fishing around on day one, pulled up in an area on Dora that I knew had a few fish around because I caught one fish there in practice. And, if you catch one fish on the Harris chain in practice, you find a place that has fish because everywhere else has zero. So I pulled up there in the tournament. I'm throwing my trap and my chatter around. I catch a few keepers, whatever. It kind of sucked. And run down to Popka, go down there. I catch 112-incher. So it's very much worth the effort. I run all the way back. I've got like 30 minutes to fish. And I pull up in this place in the afternoon. And I'm just winding around. I fire my chatterbait out there. I'm winding. And it goes, oh, and I pull and miss. I'm like, dang it, reeled over the back of a gar. I throw it back on that same cast again because, it doesn't matter. What if the gar bites it, right? And I pull, and it's a 7-pounder. I'm like, oh, dang. So my buddy Jonah is fishing with me. He fires a drop shot out there on that same cast. Well, I get that fish, throw him in the live well. Now we've got a limit. He picks his drop shot rod up. He reels it tight, and it's swimming off. 6.5 pound. We throw that one in the box. Get rid of like a 14-ouncer. Come back with a 6.5 and a 7, and end up weighing in like 17 pounds because Florida. And went back the next day, and I was like, we caught a 7 and a 6.5. It's like 4 feet deep here. I was like, how could I not see a 7-pounder if I turn on my live scope? And so I was like, oh, whatever. They say you can't do it in Florida. But I was like, what? It's water. Like, the water doesn't know where it is. And so I turned scope on the next morning, and I'm fishing in a raft of boats in an offshore grass flat at the Harris chain. And I start poking around. I pull my screen in real tight, and I start pitching at grass clumps, whatever. And everybody else just head up, winding chatterbait, winding trap, dragging a Carolina rig. And I'm poking around. I'm like, man, I was like, if I pull it in tight and I just take my time, ease around, I was like, if there's a 7-pounder there, I'm going to notice it. And if I can see him once, I can figure out how to find another one twice. And I'm poking around, and it's like first thing in the morning, and it takes 5 minutes, and I pitch my drop shot at one, and it noses down. So I'm like, I know that's a bass. I reel it up, and I had like a 1/4-ounce drop shot weight on. It's a lead weight. So I get it in the willow boat, take my pliers, flip half the weight off, because I was like, maybe if I pitch it out there and it falls a little bit slower, I can actually get the fish fall at the bottom, because it was like a foot or two above the bottom. Pitch it out there, swing it over his nose, and he goes straight down the bottom, and my line just goes, oop. Caught a 4-pounder. I was like, oh, well, if I can do that once, I can do it twice. I get back on the trolling motor, I turn left without moving the boat, pitch out there. Same thing I miss. Oh, 5-pounder. Hour and a half later, I've got 23 pounds fishing in a field of boats in 4-foot deep eelgrass. They're throwing a Carolina rig, chatterbait, and trap, and none of them even have a limit yet, much less what we had that day. And that was the day where I was like, dang, like I came back to weigh in and people were like, I heard you were throwing a spinning rod in Florida. Don't you know you can't do that? Like that's I saw you out there. I thought you were crappie fishing. And I was like, why like, why is everybody so deeply entrenched in this lore of like, you can't do this, you can't do that? And like, I was like, maybe these people don't know everything they think they know. I was like, maybe bass fishing, like maybe there's a lot more to it and nobody's tapped into it yet. And, we had seen at that point, we had seen like the Cody Huff at Toledo Bend and in the Toyota and the college tournament and Table Rock. And we had seen Patrick Walters at Fork. And like, so we had seen some glimpses of it in situations where it was like, doable and kind of made sense. But that day I was like, man, when the heck is seeing underwater not gonna matter? Like, seeing, when would seeing underwater not matter? And that day I was like, dang, I was like, I bet if I watch them all day and I just treat it like I'm diving and just interact with the environment, watch the bass, watch the forage species and how they act, turn around, look at the environment, look at how stuff moves in the current, like look at how stuff's set up, to pay attention to all the debris in the water and where it's set up in certain situations. Like, just pay attention to all the little details and just treat it like I'm scuba diving, not like I'm fishing. and just watch everything and learn from it, I was like, I could be onto something here. I was like, this isn't just a crappie fishing tool. This isn't just to use for when you're trying to catch bass out in open water over 100 feet in a place with 10-foot visibility. I was like, seeing underwater is useful everywhere. And that was the day where I was like, I think I'm onto something here. And I think there's a lot to be tapped into that people haven't touched yet in terms of like bass fishing and what's actually true and what we thought we knew. I was like, there's a lot of things that we don't know yet. And that was the day I kind of locked in. I was like, I think I can make something of it.
That's sick.
What year was that?
That was last weekend of January, first weekend of February of 2022. So, I'd used scope before that in tournaments, Table Rock and places where it's more of a meatball like Kentucky Lake. But that was that first tournament of 2022 was the one where I was like, yeah, this is like, there's a very atypical approach you can take to this offshore stuff where you can actually like use it not just to target fish suspended in open water, but like you can use seeing underwater to your advantage in every situation. It was first tournament in 2022 for me.
So I'm really interested in this, like from the beginning of 2022 to the end of 2022, say just your knowledge of different situations and how bass move and how you caught them jumped up 50 levels from what you were at the beginning of 2022. Now, like, I guess, yeah, from like 2024 to 2025, how much do you think, I guess you've learned, just still watching scope and using it in different situations and just like, obviously I'm sure it was a crazy amount of, Do you know what I'm trying to say? Kind of.
So the first, let's like chronologically talking about from like then to now.
Sure.
Then a lot of, really I'd say with the early scope era, 2020 to like 2020, I'd say like the middle of like 2023, like the early scope era was like a lot about like, holy cow, every tournament seemed like you were seeing somebody use scope or use their forward facing sonar in a manner where it's like, we never knew bass did this. Like, why are they doing this right now? It was a lot of like people succeeding. A lot of the strength of success was coming on you figuring out a way that bass lived that nobody else knew.
You were tapping into a population that nobody knew existed.
Correct.
That like you were on your own playground.
And then really, I think kind of at the beginning of like the 2024 season, when we went to Toledo Bend and then Bass went to Toledo Bend like right after us, that was kind of like when we went knee deep in the throes of it, where it was like, oh dang, like lock in time, everybody's using it in practice, in the tournament, in some facet, like everybody's implementing forward facing sonar in their fishing approach, in their direct to fish relations. And like at that point, a lot of us had heard of all these different scenarios. There's things that I've learned since then for sure that I didn't know bass did, but it's more situational. It's more like fishery by fishery, less like, less often now do I learn, I didn't know they did this under this set of factors. It's more like, I didn't know that this set of factors would be present in this part of the country, meaning like the set of factors influences their behavior, not the location of the country you're in. But sometimes you get surprised that you can find somewhere on a fishery that has X set of factors that make them do this thing because you didn't think this set of factors would be possible on this fishery, meaning a place that has a ton of current, but you find a place that's totally out of the current, has a little different water clarity, or maybe some different environment factor like vegetation or timber or what have you. But like now it's a lot more in the last couple years. It's been more about, okay, like, we've learned the basics of let's say golf. Okay. We've learned the basics of golf, how the sport works, how it's played, the different environment factors. Now let's work on club selection. Let's work on shot selection. Let's work on getting super niche and dialed at understanding every little factor that influences what takes a cast and a follow from a cast and a bite. Like what separates a non-productive cast from a productive cast. And that's what's been the separating factor over the last couple of years in offshore fishing specifically and scope usage is been less about, oh, we didn't know they did that, to more about who really understands what makes them tick and who can push them over that line the best. Because it's, over the last 4 or 5 years, the big shift we've seen is it's gone from bass fishing is mostly about finding bass to bass fishing is mostly about figuring out how to make them bite.
Yeah. I would very much agree. I think that's a cool way of looking at it. Yeah, because a lot has changed quickly, but now you're seeing guys who are winning events and stuff. It's like cool ways of getting them to bite or whatever, because people are finding a lot of the same fish now. It's not like you're in your complete own world out there as much anymore.
I tell you what, that was fun though. I remember the Toyota Championship at Gunnersville back in 2022, and I remember running around, and I had the middle of the lake all to myself, baby. I could run around with my 2D on, and whenever I saw bait pop up, I'd stand up, I'd look around, and I go, yes, everything the light touches is mine. And I'd drop the trolling motor, and I could troll in any direction I wanted, and there'd be bass in every direction of the boat, and I could catch all of them because they'd never seen a bait out there before, and I could just throw. And this is how ridiculous it was. That was the Toyota Championship at Gunnersville. Kyle Hall won, Marshall finished second, I finished third. The top 3 baits were like a glide bait, a spoon, and I was throwing a 1/2 ounce hollow body and a spook. And those were the top baits for fishing for suspended fish chasing bait. Was a glide bait, a spoon, and a hollow body. And like that's how dumb they were. Like now none of those 3 baits are going to get you in the top 3 of a tournament fishing in that manner. But back then, man, they were so dumb. You could just huck that thing over, wind it right over the head, fly up, boom, whack on 20-pound fluorocarbon, winch, tell the co-angler to get the net again for the 3rd time in the last 15 minutes. Net's there, drag him in, and then you're just amped up to get on the trolling motor and throw it another one because he's instantly going to fly up and drill. Like back when we had the middle of the lake to ourselves, man, those were the days. Like that deal, I got on that suspending deal really like super dialed hardcore when I got to Campbellsville because we were about an hour from Dale Hollow. And Dale was like early days, Dale was the best suspending lake of all time, bar none. Like they would get in groups of 100 to 200 bass over the river channel. And you could catch 21 to 24 pounds in 5 off of one group of fish. You would catch no less than 20 pounds in a day of fishing ever in 5. You would catch 35 plus bass. Out of 35 plus bass, at least 70% of them were going to be over 3 pounds. You'd have a smallmouth that was pushing 5 or over 5 every single day. You'd have multiple largemouth that were pushing 5 or over 5 every single day. Like you could go out there and catch them in the middle of the lake. And when they come up, when that whole group would come up within 10 feet of the surface, you could throw a topwater over them and all 100 would come to the surface to try to eat your top. Like it was the most insane thing ever. And now you go there in the fall and try to do that again. Good luck catching more than 15 pounds. Like, damn. It's crazy what the things that were possible back when we had the middle of the lake to ourselves. And like that, like back then, I look back and like, that's my, what's the expression? That's my Roman Empire. Like that's my golden era. I look back at the good old days of like 3 years ago when I go out in the middle of the lake and I'm practicing for a tournament and everyone's out there looking for suspended fish. Sometimes I close my eyes and I think back and I'm like, man, I remember when I just had to see one fish out here to get one bite. That was fun.
So as a guy that's spent a lot of time on the trolling motor and looking around, what has been, I mean, obviously you've been on a ton of different fisheries all over the place, but like, what's the coolest thing you've seen on scope?
Coolest thing I've seen on scope.
Maybe bass related and non-bass related.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Yeah.
The coolest thing that I've seen and regularly see at times is the like symbiotic relationship between bass and other creatures, namely birds. Like, for example, at Highland Reservoirs, I can't tell you how many times I've caught 3.5, 4+ pounders that just get in a wolf pack and follow loons and like run a loon pattern, but you're not running a bait pattern. You're not running a fish that are schooling pattern. It's literally there's a loon, there's nothing else around, and there's bass, generally smallmouth, following the loon. And you'll roll roll pockets and run creeks until you find a loon, and you pull up your drop patrol motor and there's multiple just swimming behind the loon. They're like, come on, show us where the food is. They're underwater. I don't know why they think the loon knows better than they do, but they get behind them and they follow them around, and like, and using other creatures and other fish to like for example at Kentucky Lake. I mean, Bart's done it because the first tournament that like smallmouth bed thing got really exposed, he was there and absolutely smashed them. But in that one, like that was one where you watch carp swim over pieces of cover, stumps, rocks, whatever, and sometimes you wouldn't know a smallmouth was on bed until a carp swam over, and a 4-pound smallmouth would fly up out of the bed, chase it off, and come back. And like,
dude, they like smash them. It's crazy.
Yeah, they run into them.
Yeah,
bonk
like
them with their
full-blown
nose.
headbutt. It's so cool.
It's so cool. And like just seeing those, I think the coolest things with LiveScope is just like seeing, like, we kind of picture it in our minds, at least I did for a long time, is like every little aspect of the environment is kind of independent of one another, and like they all are just kind of doing their own thing, and it's all, you know, they're all living their own world. But seeing those little interactions between like fish and their environment, fish and other creatures, fish and birds, like that's so cool. Like I caught a 6 1/4, my heavy hitters fish of the tournament at Gunnersville on qualifying day 2, because a loon shot down through the school of bait, was feeding, and there's a bunch of drum that would stack up on the bottom below the bait, but there were bass down there too. And when the loon shot down through the bait, blew the bait apart, one fish shot out of the drum and chased the loon back to the surface. And I was like, that's not a drum. Fire minnow, right over him, 6 1/4 pounder. And like just watching those interactions of like how bass as predators interact with everything in their environment different than other fish do is really cool. And as far as things I've seen on scope that are cool that aren't bass related, man, you just notice a lot of very cool things, like seeing how the existence of like a spring changes how, you know, water acts and looks underwater is really interesting. You see a lot of cool objects like shipwrecks when we're up north and whatnot that like you can kind of pan around. You see cars every once in a while where like you can look at an object and see what it's shaped like, what it looks like. I saw a manatee a couple weeks ago on scope, and it just looked like a giant beaver. It was so cool.
That's cool. That's really cool.
And I took a video of it on my phone, so I've got that slated to post sometime this week. But man, it's cool because obviously it's not feasible for us to get underwater and put on a tank and dive every day we go fishing. Just doesn't make logistical sense, and some water's not clean enough to allow it. But to get to see underwater like every day I go fishing it's the coolest part of it. Is like the amount that you're privy to understand is ridiculous. And it's a lot of things that you like never knew you didn't understand. It's a lot of, you don't know what you don't know. And until you witness it, you have no idea. Like this is such a you know, this is a rabbit hole conversation for me, because like I hear people throw around the term instinct. We are human beings. We are terrestrial creatures. We are bound by the fact that we have to breathe air. You have no instincts that allow you to understand how a bass lives its life. When you are 4 years old, somebody doesn't hand you a rod, and in no shape, way, or form, if you are given the equipment and have the mechanical capabilities to cast and wind, if you are given all the equipment in the world, it does not matter, because you are not born with an instinct that teaches you how to catch bass. All of it is learned experience, it's knowledge, it's understanding. And it comes from either experience that you've garnered on your own, or that has been passed down from generations before you, your grandpa, your dad, your uncle, your mom, your friend, whatever. Like instinct is such a cheap out for describing why people catch fish and how people catch fish, because we as people, we as humans, we have no instinct that allows us to understand how an aquatic creature lives its life. The only way that we can understand it is through learning about it and through collecting information and data and experiences. And that's how you learn about what fish do. You don't have instincts that, oh, like that guy's just fishy. No, that guy's just better than you. Like when we talk about guys like John Cox, like John just says, I just go fishing. I promise you it's a whole lot deeper than that. guys like that just say, I just go fishing, they have reasoning, they have logic, it's, I explain it in super dramatic, complicated ways sometimes, but like those guys, they all think in that manner. They just may not express it that way, but like instinct is such a cheap out for describing why people catch fish. And so getting to watch what they do every day and learn so much about it and garner so much information about how they live their lives, dude, that's the coolest thing ever to me. So I think the whole experience of getting to see is the coolest part of it. Just seeing.
With how much I mean, you kind of talked about the timeline of everything and how much we've seen everything change and like how much we're learning, say back in, I don't know, 2018, 2019, before scope really started, people started noticing you could do something there. Everyone would always say, like, you never know everything fishing, but like it kind of seemed with some of the top level guys, it was like they were like, I got it figured out. And then when live scope and forward facing popped up, it like almost hit a huge refresh button and just reset, and like everybody's got to relearn. I mean, obviously this is you're never going to hit the limit here. You're never going to learn everything, but like how far do you feel like we're in the process of relearning bass? You get what I mean? Like, are we at the 25% mark? Are we at the 55% mark? Are we at the 75% mark? Or maybe where do you feel like you're at? And then the rest of us are probably 20% behind that,
I feel like overall as bass fishermen, in terms of relearning bass and like learning what they actually do rather than what we thought they did, we're probably, I mean, it's hard to say because again, you don't know what you don't know. So you can't speak for the percentage. Like if we know the percentage exists that we don't know, then we know. Because if we know what we don't know, then we have to know it to know what we don't know. So
you following
this? In that sense, I would say, I mean, in terms of total bass behavior and like understanding what they do throughout the year, overall, we have a very comprehensive understanding of what bass do. I think when I say what bass do, mostly talking about fish that are, let's say, a captive audience, a bass that cannot get beyond your level of your field of vision, meaning he doesn't get deeper than you can process the information, and there's not an abyss like basin for that fish to get out over away from you, aka if we're talking about reservoirs, lakes, rivers, streams, ponds, I think we're to probably a 70+% margin of understanding. We don't know what we don't know, but the only thing protecting captive audience bass is the bottom, because how they move on the bottom is harder to determine because it's harder to visibly witness. I think if you bring really large scale bodies of water like tidal fisheries, coastal bodies of water, like places that have those great expanses, you talk about the Great Lakes. I think the amount that we understand about those type of places is far, far less. But I think in terms of places where an audience is captive both by fishing pressure and by just the logistics and geography of the fishery, I think we understand a lot. But I think there's places in this country, like, just by sheer scale, and we can't throw enough warm bodies at it to keep the fish under control. Because on the TVA, brother, we understand everything. We throw warm bodies at it. You go to Gunnersville and there's 400 warm bodies out there keeping those fish under tabs all day, every day. Those fish can't move an inch without somebody being on top of them. And like we can chase them, we can track them, and by throwing that many people at it every single day, everybody stays on top of them all year long. You don't get shocked off. But man, when you talk about up north where wind protects them, ice protects them, lack of just scale of sheer numbers of warm bodies and bass boats to throw at the problem, like the less captive the audience bass is, the less we understand about it. But that's kind of a case by case. That's not just a general rule, because what we understand about a bass in Gunnersville or in Smith Lake or in Hartwell is vastly different from what we understand about a bass that lives in the Chesapeake Bay, that lives in Lake Erie, that lives in the California Delta, like places where they can straight up get away from you, where they can swim for a gazillion miles, where tide fluctuates, wind, waves, ice, a ton of really big factors that help protect bass from getting stood on every single day. So I think we're comprehensive, but there's places where we definitely have voids in our understanding, and it's just kind of case by case.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, it's kind of cool seeing just going to new bodies of water and like new parts of tidal fisheries, stuff like that. You keep seeing new stuff because, like you said, it's like with the TVA and some of those places, it's like, dude, there's so much stuff all the time. Like, we're not really seeing nothing new. Let's go somewhere new and do new stuff. It's exciting and fun for everybody.
For sure.
Dang. That's a lot. That's got my wheels spinning, dude. I love all of it. Amazing conversation.
What while you're like looking at your schedule for the rest of the season here, which one are you especially stoked about? Just to have I guess
Red Crest at Table Rock.
Yeah.
It's been good to me in the past. Yeah, it's in April. Table Rock's been good to me in the past. Obviously, that's our, with Major League Fishing, that's our biggest payout tournament all year long. And smallest field event we fish all year long for a major event rather than team series. But Table Rock special, full of bass. I think, if we take all the Highland reservoirs into account in terms of diversity of the fishery, in terms of having all three species being potentially one from end to end of the lake, like Table Rock is the crown jewel of Highland reservoirs in the U.S. in terms of diversity, in terms of scale, in terms of fishability for large tournaments. Having all three species, like it can be. I've fished tournaments there where I've made the top 10 down by the dam and 45 from the river. Like, it is so dang just expansive. It's a great playing field for an event. And I'm really excited for that one. Regular season stuff that we've got left. That pro circuit at Santee in 2 weeks is going to be insane. Like, that's going to be a FOMO tournament for me, where it's less about like, oh, I'm trying to catch them to have a good tournament, more of like, I'm trying to catch them so I don't miss out on like a legacy tournament that people talk about 10 years down the road, where they're like, you remember when you caught 24 pounds a day and you finished 34th? That was crazy. Like, yeah. I don't want to miss out on I'm gonna be honest, a tournament where you're probably gonna have to have a couple days around that 30-pound range to have a chance to win. Like there was a cat trail tournament there this past weekend that took like 36 or 38 pounds or something stupid to win. And like there were multiple people over 30. Like, I want to say there's 3 or 4 boats over 30. Like, unbelievable numbers. So pro circuit, that's the one. Bass Pro Tour stuff, it's Red Crest.
That's sick. Yeah, that should be sweet. I'm excited to see all this stuff. If I decide to go down to Kentucky in April, am I going to have to see you, or is it going to be, are you going to be at Red Crest?
You'll have to see me. That's right before we go to Red Crest. So I'll be there. And, as far as Kentucky Lake goes, if there's a lot of stiff competition, but there's a man with a name that rhymes with Lake Jorrance. And if he's not there,
yeah, that was more.
We might have some sort of a fighting chance.
Yeah, I was going to say, is Jake going to be there? That's more what I'm worried about.
He's kicking the can around. He can't seem to decide whether he wants to fish it or not. So
I haven't signed up yet. I'm waiting to see, like mid March probably. I'll make up my mind.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, you guys have anything else? If not, we can let Drew get on his way, dude. We appreciate it so much, you hopping on here, and it's just like, it's been an amazing conversation. Oh, I have a question. I want to hear the engagement story, dude. On a personal level, it takes a special kind of gal to fall in love with an angler, and then obviously a really amazing gal to support you and travel around the country with you. Like, let's hear about this gal. Let's hear the engagement story, buddy.
Yeah. So with Caitlin, she's a planner. She's a thinker. She is the strategist behind a lot of what we do and where we go when it's not fishing related. So, man, when it comes down to that stuff, I had to find a situation where I didn't necessarily cause suspicion. Because for me, if I'm planning something that's not at least somewhat fishing related, it's going to be horrendously suspicious. So I kind of piggybacked day after Thanksgiving on, I guess it was Black Friday, or it may have been Saturday. I'll probably get, anyways, should remember, but it was I think it was Saturday. And we went to go, they get a Christmas tree every year, a real Christmas tree. So we went to the Christmas tree farm, and I snuck down behind the Christmas tree as they're cutting it down, and got down on one knee, and it was sentimental. It wasn't anything too dramatic or anything that was of tremendous production value, but it was meaningful, and it was nice.
Nice. Very nice. So where did you meet her initially? Were you just like rolling around getting some curds at Culver's and you're like, hey,
So
I think I love you.
She played golf with my cousin, and
okay.
So that's kind of where it started. And she kind of suggested for her to reach out to me. And I was in the middle of fishing at St. Clair, and my cousin had texted me. She was like, "Hey, this girl's probably gonna reach out to you. When she does, make sure to answer her." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, whatever." And I was like, "Can you please encourage her not to reach out to me right now until I get home?" Because I was like, I'm at St. Clair. Like, my trailer had broke down the week before at a tournament up there, so I had to leave the trailer to get fixed. I had to come back. Me and my dad had like one day to fish up there before we came back home. So I was like, I'm not going to answer back. I don't want her to get the wrong impression of like, hey, she messaged me and I leave her, undelivered for hours. So I was like, just don't try to encourage her not to message me until I get home to where I'm not fishing or driving, where it doesn't look like I'm trying to ignore her. And she didn't do that. And she messaged me anyways. And they kind of went from there. So the very first real interaction she had with me, in terms of talking to me, was severely impeded by my fishing schedule. So she kind of got pushed into it headlong, because my tournament schedule was no less intense then than it is now, and like she has embraced it wholeheartedly, and she's the best. She does a great job of supporting me, and when I'm on the road, she's my biggest fan. So it was pretty nice to have her and my family at Gunnersville, because I've gotten to win 5 of them now, but at Gunnersville was the first time I've ever had my family at any of them, and to have her and my parents there was really, really cool for me. Just because like every time it's been, calling them up right as soon as I get off stage and be like, I won, and they're all like cheering and screaming whatever in the phone, but like they hadn't actually gotten to be there. So for her and them to be there for that was really, really cool.
Dang,
that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
That's great. Yeah, Pink, you got anything?
No, I mean, we're just pumped to kind of follow along this year. I mean, you got PTB Nation in your corner now, so do it for them.
Absolutely.
Nice. Thank you so much, Drew.
Thank you so much for
really
Drew for coming on. Yeah, thanks for swinging by, man. All right, we'll see you later. Good luck.
No doubt. You guys have a good night.
Peace. All right, folks. That was Drew Gill. Magnificent interview, as always. He is incredible.
Yeah, great guy. I mean, you can tell he's just super fishy too. Like the guy just gets it,
I would love to have a couple cold beers and like start a campfire when it gets dark and sit by the campfire with him talking about bass till the sun comes up, and then I feel like I would have my fill. Like in a podcast format. Obviously, I'm serious. No, but like in a podcast format, exactly. Like it's long form, but it's not long enough, honestly. And I'm just like, right. I feel like we're gonna leave this interview, and I'm gonna be laying in bed at night, and it's gonna be like midnight or 1 a.m, and I'm gonna think of like 8 different things. That's like, oh, I should have asked him that, or I'd like to know what his thoughts on this. Like I want to start a campfire with him at sunset, and I want to end it at sunrise, and then I'd be good. Like that'd be legit.
Dude, he's so fun to talk to. He's so intellectual. He's so smart. He's so well spoken, and like just the way he talks about fish and everything, you're just like, that's sick. And the story of him like realizing how he could pick off fish with live scope, and then just being like, oh, I can just do that. Yeah. And then
I love how it was in Florida too. Like was his inaugural breakthrough with his live scope and his brain talking to each other, to his foot, to his hand, to his rod, where we go, oh, like, and it was in Florida of all places.
Yeah, dude, nuts. But
Unreal.
yeah, Drew's amazing. That was an awesome interview. I mean, boys, I think we should probably just end it with that.
Yeah, let's do it. I think this was great. But yeah, I think we got plenty more shows coming. We're kicking ass to bring you weekly pods. So if you made it this far, thank you so much. And there will be a freshie up next week. But yeah, I guess for now we'll leave it at that. And thanks for listening. If you made it this far, you're amazing. See you on the next one.
Peace.